My very first client was a guy in a boxing gym who wanted some extra push, some extra accountability, really wanted some more intensity in his workouts. He had a boxing coach, and his boxing coach gave him some strength pieces that he needed to work on, and that's what he came to me for. I told him I'm still studying, I'm not fully qualified, and he went, "That's not a problem, I'll make you a deal. I won't pay you unless you make me throw up." And I couldn't believe it. I went back to my lecturer and she said, "That's the kind of thing you're going to get in a gym like that, but it's really good experience if you're not desperate for the money," which I wasn't. I was in a very good position at the beginning of my career where I didn't absolutely need the money. So I could take that time, do a little bit of volunteering, which I did, and do a couple of sessions for free for people if I felt like I needed to. Anyway, so I went back in, had a chat with the guy, had a chat with the owner, and they were both, yeah. Bearing in mind, this was nearly 20 years ago. It's not really the same in gyms now as it was back then. And we went through 5 or 6 weeks, and the other guys in the gym was very banterish. I was the only female in the gym as well, and the guys would come, have a bit of banter, and they were like, "Do you not like money? Come on, you can push him harder than that." Loads of banter, and I just had to take it. And every week I would go back into college and have a chat to my lecturer about it, give her my experience, and she would give me some feedback on it. Her husband was actually a boxing coach at that gym, so he was keeping an eye on me as well and feeding back to her. And then one day I went in, and about 20 minutes into the session, he went to the toilet. I didn't think anything of it. I was chatting to another guy, and then some time went past, and I looked at the changing room door, and 2 blokes came out laughing. I was like, "I'm really sorry, but is he in there? Can you go and check on him for me? Because he's been a while." And they just burst out laughing and went, "Yeah, he's chucking his guts up, well done." And everybody was like cheering and applauding, and I was like panicking, like, "Oh my God, what have I done?" And he came out and he was like, "Listen, a deal's a deal. Here's your money." I got my first paid session done. We carried on the session. I dropped the intensity a little bit, and that was it. Every week since that point, he paid me. He didn't throw up every week. He just paid me every week. And there was some times where I was just like, "Oh, I don't know whether this is. I really don't know what to make of this." And again, speaking to my college lecturer, speaking to some other coaches, especially boxing coaches, they just said some people want this feeling when it comes to exercise. The guy in question was ex-military, so he was used to intensity. He'd probably, thrown up in basic training so many times he can't count. And again, speaking to my lecturer, she said, different people want different things. And if this is what he wants, as long as it's safe and you're in a safe environment, which we were, then it's not something I'd worry about too much. I knew I wasn't going to be there long. I knew I wasn't going to have that many sessions with him, because I knew I wasn't going to be there that long based on my studying and moving to another gym and things like that. As I've gone on in my career, I've found that a lot of women, actually, especially, will say, "I'm not aching," but I didn't feel it the next day. I don't think I'm working hard enough because my muscles weren't aching, because I weren't sore. And again, with experience, I've learned that that's not really the case. You can have a really good session, a really effective session, and get great results without that aching the next day or the next couple of days. Yes, you want to feel it a little bit, I understand that, And right at the beginning of your journey, the likelihood is that you will. However, as you get on with it and as your body gets used to it, especially if you're consistent and you've got a good diet, good hydration, a good amount of protein and a decent amount of calories and good sleep, you'll probably find that that gets less and less pretty quickly. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to ramp up your intensity. That doesn't mean that you have to push yourself harder. You should be doing those things naturally as time goes on anyway. But aching and muscle soreness isn't really an indication of that. Some people love it, some people chase it, and some people have found that it really motivates them to keep going. And if that's you and it's something you can live with, it's something you're comfortable with, and you're not doing any damage to yourself, then go for it. Just make sure you're doing everything safely and you're still following as much recovery stuff as you can. And go for it. Since that guy, that is not an approach I've taken with any of my clients. I've had other guys come up to me and ask me for the same thing, and I've actually said no. They've gone to somebody else, which is fine. It's not something that I was comfortable with when I learnt more about it. And really, it's like at the end of the day, it's up to you. It's not my decision to tell you how to feel during or after a session, and that was his decision. But for me, I made my decision not to train people like that anymore. However, I've still got amazing results with thousands of hours of personal training experience under my belt now. I've just carried on learning all the way through the journey about what makes a session effective and what gets you results. And if you're after results, get in touch. I'll happily chat to you, free, no obligation, consultation. Just jump on a call, have a chat, and see if I can help you.